my friend, and thank you for clicking on this video. This is Shelley, and my channel is Koala Knits and Knacks, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make these ankle socks. Now I've done a rib knit cuff on them, and they're just above the ankle here, and I just love them. I think they're great. I've actually been wearing not these ones, but another pair for most of the day, and they're just incredibly comfortable. They don't slide. They're just very, very nice. I used loops and thread, wool-like yarn. This is denim, this navy one, and I lost the jacket for the yarn ball in this color, but it's like a mushroom kind of color, and I used those two colors, and I used my Addi 22 needle machine. And so once you have your supplies ready, let's get started. You're gonna love them. Okay, so when we are ready, when you have your Addi set up or your Sentro 22 needle set up, we're gonna bring our last white needle, our first black needle, in line with the yarn feeder here. You're gonna take your double strands of yarn. You're gonna put your tail into the middle. Then you're gonna take your finger. We're gonna do an E-wrap here, and this is how I do the E-wraps. You're gonna take your finger, put it underneath, then twist it over, and then you're going to put that loop onto your needle underneath the hook. You want to leave it fairly loose, okay? So then you're going to rotate your barrel. You're going to put your finger down through that yarn again. Then you're going to just twist it up and put that needle on. Once I get a few done here so that it's catching, then I can show you better, okay? So finger down so that it's over top. Then you're going to just turn it just like that so that this yarn that's coming from the working yarn ball is over top of that one here, and then it goes over your needle, which means that your working yarn is underneath, and that's what you want, okay? So then you're going to twist your finger and you're going to put it on top, okay? Turn it again, put your finger underneath, lift it up, and twist. Then you're going to put it underneath that little nook of the needle. Go to the next one, put your finger in, lift up that yarn and twist it and put it over. Okay, rotate your handle, put your finger in, twist it. So you see how this working yarn is coming underneath the yarn that's coming from the other needle, okay? Then you're going to put that on you want this to be fairly loose, on your needle, and you're going to rotate again. Repeat that process all the way around. Oops, I lost it on this other needle. So let me go back a little bit. Add that, okay? And then we're going to twist it, put it on. Twist it, and put it on, okay? Twist it, put it underneath. So again, I'll do it slower. Make sure it pops underneath the spread divider too, okay? Finger under, twist it, put it underneath that little nook on the needle, okay? Under, twist. So again, this working yarn here is going underneath when you twist it, okay? And on your needle. And you're going to do that all the way around. You might have to watch this a couple times to get the gist of it, but it's really quite easy. And we're going to put that on just like that. Okay, not pulling it too tight, leaving some slack. We're going to tighten that row when we take our work off our machine. So we don't want to pull it tight. We just want to put the stitches on and just keep going around, okay? Making sure they're under the nook, not over the red teeth, okay? There we go. And I'm on my last one, so I'm going to open my latch. I'm going to put it in there. This is where I set my counter to 0. Okay, and I'm going to now knit 14 rows, okay? So my first row, I'm going to go a little slow, making sure that those fall down over the red teeth. The loop that you just put on there will now fall down over as you circle your barrel. They're going to fall down over the red teeth. You might have to help some of them if they're tight, okay? Some of these are tight, but you're getting the idea. It's just for the first row, okay? Making sure both strands go underneath the tip of your needle as you go, okay? There we go. All right, now we can keep going until we've completed 14 rows. Wasn't so hard, was it? When I first learned how to do an E-wrap, there's all different kinds of ways you can learn, and I actually learned several different ways, and then I thought, I was just fumbling with my fingers, so I thought, I gotta find a way to do it with just one finger, and that's when I came up with what I just showed you. So if it doesn't work for you, you can find other ways on YouTube to do it, but I find this to be an easy way for me. So this is 14, okay? So now that I've done my 14th row, I'm going to take my yarn out of the yarn guide. We're going to begin our rib stitching, okay? Okay, the reason I take that out is because for me it's easier to do the rib knitting if I have control of this yarn end here. So I'm going to finish this last needle in that row, and then I'm going to knit the first one, get that under there, and when that needle takes it down, this is the first stitch, when that needle takes it down, I'm going to put my yarn through those 2 red teeth. And I do that because when I'm working this yarn row, this row here, I don't want this loop to fall off the red teeth because I'm pulling on it and stuff, and then I'll drop a row there. So I just do that, and then I wrap it around my row counter, just like that, and it holds it secure so that I can work on this without worrying about anything, okay? So then I'm going to take my pick, I'm going to remove that loop from the teeth, from the 2 little red teeth, and then I'm going to begin to take it down, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The closer I get to the bottom, I got to be ready to grab that last loop. 9, 10, 11, 12. I did 14 rows, so I'm going to rip back to there. So that's 13. And then I'm going to put my hook in that 14th loop, okay? If I go back any farther, then this was my cast on row, okay? So I'm going to put my loom hook, my pick, in that 14th stitch. So I ripped back the first 13. Then I'm going to put my hook, my crochet hook, from the bottom going up into that 14th stitch. Hopefully I don't knock my lighting here while I do this. I stand up and do it. You can do it while you're sitting and it works, but I find it easier to do this. Then I'm going to pick up that 13th one, the 12th set, and bring it through the loop on the hook. The next one, and I'm going to work this all the way up to the top. Now I generally go at a pretty slow pace, and you try to keep your tension even as you're pulling these through your hook. I have a 3.5 millimeter hook that I'm using, but you can use a 4 if you want, or even a 5. Whatever you're most comfortable with. I think that this one fits this yarn really nicely, so it's the one that I choose, okay? So I'm almost to the top here. I'm going to get that last row. It's a little tight now, so I'm going to help it along here. I'm going to pick this up. Sometimes that helps. Pick those 2 up, get that through that loop, okay? And then I just rest that there because I like to use my loom pick for this. And then I pick up that loop that's on my hook and I transfer it to my loom. Then what you're going to do is you're going to push that underneath that red divider. Make sure that one is under there too, because then you got some slack on this so that you can then take it and put it over those red teeth, okay? So that is your first row of pearls done for your rib stitch, okay? So I'm going to unwind my yarn. I'm going to put it underneath this divider before this row that I just did. Then I'm going to back it up just slightly so I can get this underneath that little nook right there, the hook of the needle. The one that I just put back on is over those red teeth, and I'm going to knit that one, and I'm going to knit the next one because I'm only gonna rib stitch every second one. So now when that needle drops, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put my yarn through those teeth right here, wrap it around my row counter. Again, that's to secure this one so that when I'm working this one, it doesn't drop this row, okay? I'm going to lift this up. I knit 14 rows, so I'm going to loosen 13 of these stitches and put my hook in the 14th one, okay? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and be careful, you're pinching this with your other hand. That's 13. And this one's snagged. Of course you're snagged. Why wouldn't you be snagged? There we go. But I'll win that battle. And there you go. You're going to stick your loom hook in that 14th stitch. Then I'm going to grab my crochet hook and repeat that process. Put it from the bottom into that loop going up. And then I'm going to grab the next one. I'm going to remain seated for this one just to see if I can get a better angle on it for you. I wonder if you're actually even seeing that camera. Let me tilt this, okay? So I went down to the 14th one, and now I've taken 2 loops, so that's 12, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, so that was the 12th one that I put back on. 11. Then you go up to the next one, pull it through that loop that's on your hook, up to the next one, pull it through that loop that's on the hook, making sure you're grabbing 2 strands because we've double stranded our yarn. I find it easier to do this if I'm standing. This is a bit awkward for me. But however works best for you. So there's both options, okay? I'm gonna stand because my wrist gets cranked a funny way and I don't like it. So I don't want to drop anything. I want to make sure it's perfect. So there we go. And I've got one more to pick up. Now I'm gonna rest that there. I'm gonna grab my loom hook again. If you don't have a loom hook, you must get one. It's a lifesaver for when you're knitting. Okay, and then I'm going to pop this down over underneath that red divider and make sure it's popped down on that side too. And then that gives me the slack to put it over those red needles. Okay, I'm going to unwrap my yarn from my row counter there. Then I'm going to knit this row that I just did and the next one. Okay, so that's 1, 2. And that second one drops down, I repeat the process, okay? So that's how you're gonna do it. If you need to see, maybe I'll do one more because my camera angle was a little bit funny. So I'm gonna just do one more, okay? So this one is dropped down and I'm going to pick this one, drop it. I'm gonna count till I unpick 13 of them. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. I'm going to put my loom pick in that 14th stitch. I'm going to grab my crochet hook and I'm going to work up. Okay. So I'm going to take that first set of bars, put it through the loop on my hook. Take the next set, put it through the loop on my hook, and I'm going to work that all the way up to the top. And we're going to do this with every second stitch. Okay, I move my left hand up to help hold those stitches as I go through. And it just puts some tension on there and makes it easier to get those stitches through that loop that's on my hook. Okay, and there we go. One more. I let my hook rest there. Grab my loom. Pick, there we go. Remove that. Pop that down underneath that divider and this one under that divider. And that gives me the slack I need to put those loops, that loop over those 2 red teeth. Then I'm going to unwind my yarn and I'm going to knit the stitch I just did and the next one. Okay. And then I'm going to repeat the process until I get all the way around to the end, ribbing every second stitch. So you go ahead and finish that. And when you're done that, come back and see me. All right, so how did that go? I've got one more to do, so I'm going to go underneath that red divider. Before I do my last one, I am going to change my row counter to 0 so that when I start my next row, it's counting from the beginning, okay? So I'm going to go underneath these 2. I've got one more row to do, okay? It's not so bad, is it? It's actually quite fun. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got that done. Now I'm going to go underneath that red divider and I'm going to finish this this last needle, but I'm going to put it into my yarn feeder. No, I'm not actually, because we're going to switch colors now. We're going to cut this off. If you're going to use the solid color, then you just put this into here like this, and then you knit the rest in just straight rows until you get to the length you want. But for me, I'm going to change colors every 5 rows. So before I begin that, I've got my row counter set to 0. Okay, I'm going to put that in, put that in between my last white, my first black. I'm going to now attach my second color that I want. And for me, that's the blue. Now let me just grab both ends here. We're doing a color change now, just like we would do with any other project. You're going to take your 2 strands, you're going to put it into your yarn feeder. You're going to shut the latch. Then I'm going to hold both of those yarn ends that's in the center. I'm going to knit 4 rows, and then I'm going, or 4 needles, sorry. Then I'm going to pull on that, both ends of the working yarn so that I can tighten up those stitches, okay? Then I'm going to give this a tight knot because this is my working yarn. I'm going to keep this on my machine, okay? So I'm going to give this a little snip. Leave it long enough so that I can work in those ends later, okay? But I'm going to then do 5 rows of this blue, okay? So that's 1, 2, and 5. Okay? And so when I get to 5 rows of the blue, I'm going to then cut it off. I'm going to open my yarn feeder. I'm going to put it between the last white and the first black. And then I'm going to take my other color. I'm going to put it back into the yarn feeder. I'm going to grab both of those ends that are in the center there. Okay. I'm going to knit 4 needles. Then I'm going to take that white or the mushroom color and I'm going to pull it till it went down over there. Just so that, again, my beginning row, my beginning stitches of the row are nice and uniform, just like the rest of the row is going to be, okay? Give that a nice tight knot, cut that off, leaving enough so that I can work it in later. And then I'm going to knit 5 rows of this color. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my counter is at 10. I finished 10 rows and I'm going to cut my yarn. I'm going to change to my blue. And I'm going to do 5 rows. Then I'm going to cut it and I'm going to change to the mushroom and do another 5 rows. And I'm going to go for as long as I want my sock to be. For me, I need it to be 50 rows. 50 rows after the cuff to meet the length of my foot that I need, okay? So I will keep switching colors until I have completed row, till my yarn row counter says that I've completed 50 rows. And then when I get there, I will show you what I do to measure it to my foot, so then you can determine whether or not you need to go a little bit higher or not, okay? So keep going until you get to 50 at least. If you have a size 6 foot or bigger, go at least till 50, and then I'll show you what I do when I get to 50, all right? All right, so I'm on my last color change. I'm gonna open my latch. I'm gonna take that blue and I'm gonna put it in the center between the, it's all staticky, between the last white and the first black. I'm gonna put my mushroom in there. I'm going to hold those ends and I'm gonna do 3 or 4 needles. Then I'm gonna pull on that to tighten that row. Then tie a tight knot. Okay, cut that off. And I'm going to complete my last 5 rows. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And for me, that's enough. And now I'm going to do a long tail cast off, but I'm going to show you what you need to do to see if it's enough for you. So what you're going to do is you're literally, you're going to laugh at me. Oh my goodness. You're literally going to pull this up out of the center. Okay. You know that this rib knit stitch part here is your above your ankle, okay? And then you've got this to go a little bit down as a cuff before it goes around your foot. And now you're going to put your foot on your heel, on your red pins, and you're going to stretch this just a little bit, okay? And you're going to hold your foot up. I'm going to move my camera up so you can literally see what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave the sock on my other foot just to spare you. Mind you, in my other video, my other sock video that I just posted, you will see how I did it. And you know, the reason why I do it this way is because when I loom knitted, we literally stuck our foot into, everybody did it, I know it, into the center of the green 24 peg loom to see if it was long enough. And so that's what I'm going to do. And so I'm going to put my heel on there and I'm going to stretch that up just a little bit. And if it goes just beyond my toes before it reaches the before it reaches the cuff here, if I have a little bit of extra, I have 5 rows. When I stretch it a little bit, my toes will come to about there, 5 rows down, and then there's the cuff, okay? That's what you want. So if that's not how it works for you, then just keep adding rows. Or if you just want to have a longer sock and have it not be an ankle sock, but go higher, then just keep adding rows for as long as you want. Just make sure you keep a count so you can get your next sock the same length. You can make these as high up your leg as you want, okay? But for an ankle sock, I like to have my row count correct, okay? So I'm going to now do my long tail cast off. Okay, so I have cut my yarn. I'm going to open the feeder. I'm going to lower my camera, 1 second. I'm going to thread my needle with the long tail that I cut off, okay? And then I'm going to make sure that this last needle works that yarn. Always close that latch. And so it works that yarn. And then this is my first black one. I'm going to take that off. Okay. And I'm going to go around and I'm going to I take about 4 or 5 off before I wind my barrel further. Okay. I'm just winding 1 stitch at a time until I get about 5 off. Okay. And then I will wind it and I'll take quite a few off just like this. Okay. Holding them on your needle with your thumb. Okay. I'm going to go around, and if you lift up too high on this, you're going to lose that stitch and you're going to drop a row. So if you're new at this and you don't have your tension correct when you're removing stitches, if you don't know the feel of it yet, then put your finger over top of that needle to the left, or the stitch to the left, and then pull that one off and go like this, okay? Then you won't drop a row. Okay, and you keep going around until you get them all taken off. Okay, so once you get them off, I'm going to remove my Addi and I'll see you back. Today has been a fun sock making day for me. I made a couple that I posted already in a different video that had just a fold over cuff, and you didn't have to do the rib stitch on that. So look for that if you are interested in that. And then now I'm doing the rib stitch. Now this one I had on for a little bit, and so you can see that it starts to take the shape of your ankle or your heel once you wear it a little bit. So I mean, just as by way of forming that ankle or that heel, you don't have to have a different you don't have to have a different piece in there that forms your heel, because this is like a tube sock, right? You'll remember when you were kids, or they might even be in the stores now, where we would buy tube socks like this, and then you'd put them on, and then your heel just went where your heel fit. And that's essentially what this is. And so they're wonderful. So I'm going to now take my piece that I just took off my machine. I'm going to put it inside out. I'll take that needle off for now. Put it inside out. Okay, and you're going to have all these little ends that I won't have to show you how to do that, but all I'm going to do with those is I'm going to take put 2 of them on, and I'm going to just go in and out of a couple of these stitches like that, and then this way, and then come back, and I'm going to go back and forth 2 or 3 times, and then just snip them off. You don't want to go too much more than that, because you don't want little ridges everywhere. Okay, so just go in a few stitches and then go back and forth a couple times, and you'll have those hidden. Now we're going to go up to where our toe is going to be, okay? So we're going to take our drawstring that was the beginning of the tail that we had at the beginning of our row. We're going to pull on that, smoothing out the toe, okay? Just like so. I'm going to cut some of this off because we definitely don't need that long tail to work with. It just gets in the way. I'm going to thread my needle. I hope you enjoy making these socks. I just think they're fantastic. Like, seriously, I can't wait to make a bunch of different colors and use them as my socks. I think they're so pretty. Okay, and then I'm going to just go around. I'm only going to go around this toe, that first row of stitches. I'm going to go around once. A little bit more here. See, just that first row of stitches. Bring it around and pull it. And then I'm going to just take 1 or 2 of those strands. I've got 2 there. And I'm going to tie a knot because I don't want a big knot on my toe. So I'm just going to take a little bit of just 2 strands there. And I'm going to tie a double knot. Okay. And then from there, I'm going to go around underneath those same row of stitches. Maybe I'll pick up a few more. okay? Just around like that. And then I'm going to go back underneath those stitches. Missing one here, of course, so that it doesn't pull out. Then I'm going to go back around and pick up some stitches, okay? Just to hold that in place. Then I can take that and I can cut it off. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to unravel. It's nice and tight in there, okay? So now we've got our toe done, okay? Then again, you're going to hide all of these in between these stitches. So take the blue one and hide it underneath the blue there. Take the mushroom and hide it underneath those loops. Go back and forth a couple times. And then we're going to take our other side, okay? So in order to, like this is all loopy. So in order to tighten this, we're going to put it the right side facing out. Then we're going to go to where our tail is, okay? And we're going to work backwards. So when your tail is here, you're going to go to this other side, to the left of it, and you're going to take that very top stitch. Roll it up, and you're going to take that top stitch, and you're going to tighten it. Well, that one's okay. We have to do this other one, okay? So the next one, you're going to tighten it. So you're going to pull on that, and you'll see how that just automatically created some slack there. Then you're going to roll it up, and you're going to go to the next one, and you're going to just pull it to the left, okay? Then you're going to go, and you're going to roll it up, and you're going to see that next one at the very top, and you're going to just pick at it. It's very easy to see, actually, and you're going to lightly pull on it. Then you're going to roll that up, go to the next stitch that's at the top, and repeat that process all the way around. Not too tight, just so it neatens up the edge there, but it gives you also you still have some elasticity in it, okay? So here we go to the next one. Okay. Then roll it up, and you'll see that loop. You can easily see that loop, okay? And you're going to just... This is like as gratifying as it is when you pull apart a drop stitch scarf. You know how you drop all the stitches and then you unravel it? This is kind of the same feeling. Not that it's unraveling, but it's just, it's nice to see it come together like that. Okay, so here we go. And we're going to continue that all the way around until we get to the beginning, okay? So keep doing just what I'm showing you here. Rolling it up and grabbing that top stitch, and then just nicely cleaning it up just like that until you get around to this side, and then I'll see you back. All right, so I made it around and I'm at my beginning, and you can see that this all what became my slack. Now if I pull on that tail, I can tighten it up, okay? And what I could have done is put it under the loop there and tied it off, but that's okay. I'll tie it off. I'll cut this a little bit, and then I will thread it. So it's very simple to do once you find that top row, okay? And then I'm going to just go through there. That top loop, that's the first stitch. And I'm going to just tie a knot. I'm going to go down a little farther and tie a knot. I don't want to see a knot at the top of my ankle there, okay? And I'll tie another one there and reinforce it. And then I'll hide that down through the stitches too, okay? But I don't need to do that part on camera. You know how to hide edges, okay? So there we go. We've got our sock pair. They're so cute. Just loving them, okay? Just like that. And again, you can go ahead and you can make this body part as long as you want. If you want your ribbing to be wider, you can go ahead and make that longer too. And you've got a beautiful pair of socks. So we have completed another pair of socks. These are short ankle socks that have a rib knit cuff, and they were fun to make, double colors, and you can again make them any way you like and for any length that you like, and they're just like so cute. And you know what? I just am thrilled with them. And I hope you are too. So my friends, thank you so much for joining me on another tutorial. Always a pleasure to create for you and to spend time with you. And I thank you so much for your support of my channel. And if you haven't joined my Facebook group, come on over. I'd love to have you there. We'd love to see your creations and let you be a part of that fun, very positive and encouraging group. All right, so don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next video.